What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Independent Waters. I am Mikey Manfredi, your host as always, and with me, joining me, as per usual, Zach Batista. Zach, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Mikey. How you feeling there, bud? You were sick yesterday when we were talking. Hope you're not too under the weather today.
I'm still feeling a little sick, but I could get through it for this episode. We could make it a good one, but yeah, I'm still not feeling too great.
Mm-hmm. On a more positive note, it's fall now. It's actually kind of cold out. I'm kind of loving it.
It's actually real life fall this time. It's not like fake out fall like we get sometimes, where it's like you get like the cold fall days and then it hits you back with 80 for a little bit.
Exactly.
And it's like you baited me.
It's the worst.
Mother Nature, you baited me into thinking it was fall. I busted out the jeans and everything.
Yep, and then suddenly you're sweating your ass off and it's 80 degrees and you gotta take off your sweatshirts.
Put all the flannels back. Unbelievable.
It's like, oh man. Today I got some pretty good matches.
Yeah, I got some pretty good ones too. I think you started us off last week, so I'll kick us off this week.
I did start off last week,
right.
So hit me with what you got.
So I'm going to kick us off this week. Zach, my man, we just came back from the collective. You know I had to get more Calvin Tankman in my body.
Oh, yes. That's some good shit right there.
So I watched Calvin Tankman versus Myron Reed from Asylum Wrestling Revolution. This match was very interesting. There's one thing that immediately got me, and it's the fact that the hard cam looks like someone's phone on a tripod. It's so bad. It's so dark. So dark. It looks awful. But then there was this second camera they were using that was like ringside that looked great. It was like fine. Like it was just following them around and it looked great. I was like, what is going on? Why didn't we just use the good camera for hard cam? Like what's happening? I don't know. It seemed really weird to me. But it did kind of take away from the match a little bit because like I said, when it cuts to that hard cam, you could barely see what's happening in the ring.
I gotcha.
But this match was pretty good. These two kicked the crap out of each other. When I say kicked, Myron Reed threw a variety of kicks at Calvin Tankman. This guy's got very educated feet. It is wild. He's throwing enziguris. He's throwing double drop kicks. He's got like the top rope like jump kicks. I don't know what to call them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean though. But
yeah,
these two. It was a battle of speed versus power.
The classic one.
Tankman throwing Reed around and hitting him like a truck, and Reed trying to get around him and use his partner who was ringside as like for dirty tactics and stuff. There was one point where Reed gets a little frustrated with the referee and shoves him, and the referee bounces off the ropes, comes back, and just shoves Myron down. And he's like, "I'm the ref, bitch!" And we're like, "Oh,
I love
okay, that. Damn,
it's like,
dude.
all right,
sorry,
it's your ring. Shit,
yeah,
okay."
It's like, okay, don't mess with this ref. Got it. Cool. The refs in Asylum are crazy. Love it. This match was cool. In the end, Calvin Tankman ends up winning with a move called the Screwdriver.
The Screwdriver.
Which is like, he gets him up like a suplex.
Okay.
But then he, like, turns them and drops them into a pile driver.
Oh. Okay.
It's pretty sick. It was pretty sick. And he ended up winning with that move. Nice. It was really cool looking, and Calvin Tankman picked up the victory. The big boy takes it home. This match was fine. It wasn't anything. I'm not gonna say it was a mind-blowing, mind-boggling Calvin Tankman banger or Myron Reed banger. It was fine. It was a meh in my eyes, but it was good. I do recommend you check it out because it looks like it's from 2019, but it looks like it's pretty early in Tankman's career because he looks pretty young compared to when we saw him at the collective.
Yeah.
But it was good. I give it a meh. Zach, what do you got for us? What's your first match this week?
Following up on that, I decided to just went to the collective. I wanted to get some Danhausen in my life because I think Danhausen is really funny. And
love it.
For Hit the Books, I usually do this thing where I just kind of like go around on YouTube and see for recommendations. And if I see something that I haven't seen before or something that just looks like no one's really watched it, I picked it. So for this match, I picked Unsanctioned Pros Danhausen versus Pretty Boy Smooth in a no ring, no rules match.
No ring, you say?
Yes. So for context, this match takes place in a small-ass bar.
Okay.
like, they literally, like, Danhausen and Smooth both come out of, like, the back, like, by the, like, the, like, where, like, the staff would be. There's, like, a crowd that's, like, crowded around the front entrance, and the ref's there. There's still a ref. There's no ring at all. It's just, like, the wooden floor, a bar, and, like, that's the main thing you have to know, is that there's just, like, a long bar on the left side of the room if you're staring at it. And
but there's just no ring. There's just fighting. No ring. It's just a bar fight, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So PB walks out, and he's wearing this gold skull mask on his face, and Danhausen thinks that he's a fan of his.
Incredible. And
he starts talking shit about PB.
Okay.
Then, of course, BB knees him in the stomach and takes the mask off his face.
Oh, no.
And I'm pretty sure Dan said, "You betrayed me."
You betrayed me. That sounds like something
he starts to beat the shit out of Dan.
Okay.
So then Dan chops him once. PB no-sells it. And then he asks Dan if he wants to try it again. Dan says, yes. And then he slaps him in the nipple, and he points to it and says, nipple. And, which is hilarious. Incredible. I don't know why. Then, this is actually the worst bump of this entire match, probably. PB goes to hit Dan, and he ends up, like, open hand, like, you know, like, you can either do a chop sideways or, like, vertically down.
Yeah.
He slaps the bar with his bare hand.
Yikes.
And it sounded awful for him.
Just like, whap.
Like, oh, it was like, that's the worst move. And for the rest of the match, I was like, I'm like, all I saw thinking to myself was, wow, that's like the worst bump of this match. Let's see.
I like how the worst bump of this match is a guy slapping the bar top.
He fucking slammed that shit. So eventually we get to where Dan jumps up on the bar, because of course Dan's going to jump up onto the bar and do his signature tequila spot.
Oh, right. There's no ring to do it, so I guess he has to use something.
He has an actual bar. He says, I think he says like jukebox or something like that. He starts doing his dance. PB is now recovered from slamming his hand on the bar, and he looks at Dan in the most... The best way I can put it is that PB is like the straight man in this, because he's looking at Dan like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he goes to the crowd and he goes, this is what you want? And then Dan's still dancing, he's like pointing at him and looking at the crowd. He's like, this is not professional wrestling. And then he looks at Dan, he's like, I'm going to get your ass. And then he just gets to the thing where Dan starts to kick him repeatedly every time the song goes up. Mm-hmm. And clicks it, everyone says, like, yeah, and then they're like, tequila!
Classic.
I think if I recall correctly, Dan gets off the bar, PB beats him up a bit. PB then jumps up onto the bar. And, like, there's another, like, shelf for some reason at the top of the bar that has White Claws just lined up on the side of it. So he just grabs one and starts to drink it.
Nice.
Then he pours it all over Dan's face.
Just a shelf full of White Claws.
Yeah,
incredible.
I was like, you just waterboarded that man with a White Claw. I'm like, that sucks.
Clawboarded?
Clawboarded. We'll go with that. After clawboarding Danhausen, he then offered it to the crowd, and someone actually said, yeah, and he's like, well, come and grab it. And they didn't. So then it led to the next spot where Dan got up, and he says, I'm going to tell Alley Cat that you wasted it, and wasted that. And as he said,
oh, no!
He just throws the bottle, like,
don't tell Alley Cat you wasted a White Claw, or a White Paw.
Oh, I'm so glad I went to the collective, otherwise I wouldn't even have known who she was. So yeah, then he nails Dan in the face with the White Claw, which was just hilarious to me, because Dan is just... It's just the way Dan was just, like, expressing himself with, like, the noises he was making were just hilarious this entire match. Mm-hmm. Then, let's see. I think the next thing was, so then the next thing that happened that I thought was of note was, so PB goes to chokeslam Dan. Dan elbows him in the face repeatedly. Dan then grabs him in a chokeslam, and he's like, haha, I've got you now. And PB's no-selling this. He's just staring at him like, what the hell are you doing? And he tries to chokeslam him. It doesn't work. He then punches him in the stomach. That doesn't work. So then he steps on his Timbs, which pisses him off.
Never step on a man's Timbs, is what
I've
learned,
He even says that,
guess.
too. He's like, did you just step on my Timbs? And Dan was like, yes. And then he gets so angry, he tries to clothesline Dan. Dan ducks. He then rips off his do-rag and starts to choke Dan out with it.
Oh, no.
So Dan then gets out of it. And one thing I forgot to mention here is when Dan came into the match, he had his jar of teeth, of course, as Danhausen always does.
Typical.
And he had a kendo stick, which hadn't been used for this match. Well, after he got out of the do-rag choke...
He should have put the teeth on the kendo stick.
That would have been fun.
Teetho stick.
Oh, Dan, if you do that, I would love to see that. But Dan gets out of it. He then finds his kendo stick and just beats the shit out of PB with it. Kind of sucks. Then the next fun spot this leads it to was he starts to get up under the bar and he's like choking him with the kendo stick. Like he's standing on the bar and choking him, right?
Yeah.
He says, "Someone come help me." He's like, "I need some help." And two people raise their hands. He's like, "Yes, you will do nicely. Come here." And of course, PB's going like,
"Yes, you will do nicely."
As he's like choking him out. I'm pretty sure that's what he says. Two random members of the crowd then proceed to hold the kendo stick into the choke position, so he's still being choked. And he looks at this point visibly like, what the fuck is happening? Who are you people? Dan then gets the bartender to give him his teeth, give him a glass that you would pour like whiskey into. Great. He pours the teeth into the whiskey glass and then pours it into his mouth.
Seems like the whiskey glass was like a weird middleman that didn't need to be.
It didn't, but I was appreciative that Dan was like, you know, we're in a bar. Give me a
whiskey
glass.
It's like he transferred it to a whiskey glass just to pour it in. You could have just did it from the jar.
You could have.
Incredible.
So after this, PB gets out of it. Dan goes to do, I forgot what Dan went to do. Probably like, he was setting up for something that PB ducked, and then PB hits him with a knockout punch for the 1-2-3.
Ah, bummer.
I was sad. I think every single match I've seen Danhausen in at this point, he has lost, and the only match he won was by disqualification.
Fair.
The one match I've seen him. So I'm going to find a match where Danhausen wins one of these days.
Eventually, you'll find a match where Danhausen wins.
Eventually. So, yeah, this match is just stupid fun, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wrestling-wise, wrestling isn't too great, but I had a fun time. Honestly, for me, it's like a meh to high meh, just because it's just fun. It's just a fun match that I was laughing and I was having a good time with.
Fun matches are always the best matches to me. Like, if they're fun, they always are they're just great.
Yep, the only thing that could have probably raised this for me is if the wrestling was better, but granted, they were in a no-bar, no-rules match, so I didn't really go in expecting, like, an Omega versus Okada
like a wrestling match, yeah, like a wrestling match, I guess.
Yeah. I like a little more wrestling match in my matches, but still, it was fun.
Fair enough. All right, well, for my next match, I got Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Blaze from World War Wrestling for the World War Wrestling Women's Championship, which is hilarious to me because it's just a quadruple W championship. The WWWW championship.
The big four dubs.
Anyway, Jamie Hayter comes into this match as champion, and Blaze is the challenger. So, this match is interesting because the entire match, Blaze just can't get going, and Hayter's getting a lot of offense in. Hayter starts this match off as a huge heel, by the way, by, like, just delaying it as much as possible because, like, she came into this match with, like, broken fingers that are, like, taped together. Mm-hmm. So she's like, I have broken fingers. I need a second. she rolls out of the ring and, like, goes to the snack bar and, like, starts checking out, like, what snacks are over there.
That's okay.
And then Mercedes Blaze ends up coming over and just knocking her head on the snack bar and bringing her back, and then they start fighting. But, like I said, Blaze, like, even though Blaze got, like, the first offense in and brings her back to the ring, she can't really keep the offense going because Hayter dominates this match almost the whole time.
Wow,
But there is some light for Mercedes Blaze when she gets this little sequence going, and she hits Jamie Hayter with, like, a front drop kick. She like, Jamie was, like, near one turnbuckle and she was, like, in the other corner. She runs across the ring, jumps, tucks herself up in, like, a cannonball, and just like explodes into this front drop kick. And just Hayter looks like she just went wham and just slammed the back of her head on the second turnbuckle and lands on the ground. Like,
sounds like
she hit so hard. It was crazy. It looked so brutal. That was like the one spot in this match where I was like, Jesus Christ!
It's almost as if she got hit with a legit cannonball.
Yeah, it was like a cannon. Yeah, literally, that's what it looked like a big cannon. Like, it just, you got hit by a cannonball and just got launched back into the turnbuckle. This leads to a big sequence where they end up hitting each other with a double clothesline, and they end up both down. Then they get up. Hayter gets her over the ropes, and she hits her with a hangman stunner. Where, like, she's over the ropes, hits a stunner on the ropes, and she's like, and Mercedes is, like, hanging between the second and third rope, almost like a 619 style, but then Hayter just runs up, gives her a big knee.
Ooh.
And she gets up on the top to go do a move, but she kind of, like, yells at the crowd a little bit, like she was, like, having an argument with one of the fans, which gives Blaze time to recover a little bit. And Blaze hits a gigantic top rope neckbreaker and gets the win.
Ooh.
Yeah. It it was interesting to see that Jamie Hayter in the beginning of this match was dominating, and then whenever she got a little too cocky, that's when Blaze would like find her spots, you know. And that's how she ended up winning the match and winning the title off of Jamie Hayter.
I was gonna say, wasn't that a title change?
Yes, it was a title change. Yeah, Mercedes Blaze ended up winning the World War Wrestling Women's title,
the quad
dub title. And ends up getting the win here, and with a big, gigantic top rope neck breaker. This match was pretty good. I liked it a lot. Hayter played a really good heel. I really like Jamie Hayter. I've seen some of her stuff from Stardom. I've seen some of her stuff. She was in AEW for a bit. So that's what got me interested when I saw her in AEW, and I went back and watched some of her old stuff. It's pretty good. I'm definitely going to bring more Jamie Hayter in the future. Some of her Stardom stuff is like really, really good, I've heard. So I can't wait to watch those matches. But they're all in Japanese commentary, so that'll be fun. But I also want to see more of Mercedes Blaze because she had an interesting moveset, lots of neck breakers, lots of big impact moves, lots of high impact stuff. Great character work from both of these people in this match.
I like the idea of neck breaker based moves.
Yeah, it was she did like a lot of neck breakers. Like there was a lot of like swinging neck breakers, suplex neck breakers, that top rope neck breaker. It was like crazy. I was like, wow, there's a lot of neck breakers. But this match was good. I give it a high. It's a high meh for sure. I appreciated it. It was a solid match between these two. And you could tell it was definitely early in Jamie Hayter's career because she looked very young as well.
Gotcha.
I got a lot of early matches, it seems, this week. Yeah, so what is your second match of the week today?
All right, I don't know who either of these two guys are going to this match. I chose Robbie Eagles versus Marsh. I think it's Marcius Pitt. Marcius Pitt. I'm gonna call him Pitt. At EPW or Explosive Pro Wrestling's Hell or High Water.
Okay.
This is in 2018.
Okay.
So coming to this match, Pitt is a crazy guy from what I've been told by commentary.
Great.
Who is one half of the tag team champions.
Oh, interesting.
He has a valet with him who's holding his belt for him. And I didn't get what this was at first, but his shirt was playing mind games towards Robbie Eagles because it had him as him. It was kind of like an eagle's body with his face as the head. And it said plucked, and it was a picture of Pitt holding him by like his neck. And I think below the back of the shirt was like his legs and Eagles trying to kick his shins, but being too small to deal with it. Because, as I learned, when Eagles came in, who's by himself, he's the sniper of the skies, and his logo is like an eagle. So I was like, oh, he's doing mind games with him. Because the shirt looked like it was like one of those like character shirts you buy at like a fun fair, kind of like.
Gotcha.
So the opening belt goes up, and it's very clear that they're showing the story of Pitt's power versus Eagles' agility, but that's the classic.
Yep.
Like Pitt is throwing Eagles around at first.
Big boy versus fast boy.
Yep, he's smacking him on the back of the head when he has him like pinned down to the ground. He's like he at one point he does the come at me, dude. What are you gonna do to me? And then Eagles proceeds to out wrestle and outmaneuver him. And when he then gets out of the ring for a bit, and he starts to walk around while Eagles is kind of in the ring, like, come on, what are you gonna do? And at this point now, the match actually kind of starts to fire up a bit. Where Pitt comes into the ring, right? Mm-hmm. And I've seen some disgusting German suplexes in my time.
Okay.
This one was nasty because of how high he threw Eagles.
Yikes.
He threw Eagles so high that Eagles did a full backflip and landed on his belly.
Jesus.
I was like, fuck, dude, what the hell?
Jeez.
Yeah, so then for the next bit of the match, we get the classic where Pitt starts working over Eagles' back repeatedly, backbreakers, just working it over.
Yep.
Eagles puts up a bit of a fight at one point, and then he hits him with a picturesque like Randy Orton / Dustin Rhodes slam.
Okay.
It was smooth as hell. I was like, damn. I'm like, all right. I'm getting. I was starting to get into the match at this point, if I recall.
Okay.
Pitt gets up on the top. Let's see. Eagles is now laying in the ring after doing this slam because his back's been worked over all match, and the heckler just starts to heckle Pitt as he's like about to go off the top rope. So he gets off the top rope, gets out of the ring, walks over to the heckler, stares this heckler down, and then in the oddest interaction, he kisses the top of his head, and then he pushes the guy's face away from his.
Incredible.
And walks back into the ring.
Hey, did that heckler end up doing anything for the rest of the time he was there?
No.
Or they were there?
It did not.
Then it worked.
It was just odd.
May have been weird. May have been a weird tactic, but it worked.
I mean, I guess it plays into the fact that he's a crazy person.
The mind games.
There was like a point where apparently the commentator... Yeah, mind games. The commentator said at one point, just side note, because I remembered it now. They said that he had put us in a video of him just laughing into a mirror, and I was like, so he is just the crazy guy. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that. Cool.
Interesting.
Let's see. So, after a bit of this, he tries to pin Eagles. Eagles kicks out. Eagles actually rolls onto the... I don't know how he does it, but Eagle gets up onto the apron for the next big sequence. Mm-hmm. Pitt goes for a German from the outside. He gets on the top rope and he grabs him for a German. And I think to myself, you're not going to do this. I'm like, no one ever does this. To which then commentary says that he's done this before and he does this regularly.
I love that. He's not going to do this. No one ever does this. He does this all the time.
I was like, oh God. And they were like, this move is deadly.
That's so funny, Eagles actually.
Fought out of it. And I was actually sad that I didn't get a chance to see it. I was like, I wanted to see the German from the apron. I was like, damn.
No one ever does this. He does this all the time.
Literally, I was like, all right, I'll shut the hell up then. All right.
That's great. I would love to see that. I wish I could see that too.
Mm-hmm. So then Eagles finally hits his comeback, which is, to his credit, full of energy. Because up until this point, this match has kind of been slow-ish. Because Pitt's been dominating a lot of this match. A lot of, just grinding him down. He, hits him with a drop kick, which sent him to his face. He then takes out his other leg. He then runs and does a running forearm to the back of his head. And I think if I recall from this, I forgot what else he does after this, but this got me really hyped actually because they were both down after this. This might have been the drop kick, but we'll see. Oh, so after this, both men are down, right?
Okay.
Eagles gets up, he gets Pitt in the corner, and he hits a disgusting set of double knees. He double knees him in the chest once. Pitt falls down, so now he's laying in the corner with his head on the bottom rope. He runs again. He gets double kneed again, and the impact that these double knees had, this was similar to you, Mikey, where I was like, oh God, that sounded
Jesus.
awful. That sounded terrible. He looked like he was in a daze, and he was laying on the ground. And at this point, then Eagles goes to hit. He then hits a senton before going up for what I assume is his finisher. But Pitt then gets out of the way. It is at this point then, unfortunately, that there is a botch, unfortunately, that's kind of noticeable. He went to go do a Hurricane Rana or something like that, and they both kind of fell over.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it kind of took them the wind out of this, because at this point I started to get a little more hyped. I was like, oh shit, he had a senton, we're going to go, and I was kind of okay.
Oh.
Fortunately, both guys didn't really let it get in the way.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, yes, the two of them continue with the next sequence. Eagles then hits him with what I would like to call a reverse figure 4 leg lock.
Okay.
It's kind of where he has his legs tied up and it's hard for me to explain this, but it's kind of just imagine a reverse figure 4 where he's face down and Eagles is up. Pitt sells this death. The best way I can describe this is when you step on a Lego and you just scream out in pain is how Pitt was selling this. I was like, damn, okay. I was like, this is good. He crawls out of it eventually with the help of his manager, who the woman I mentioned before, who's on the outside.
Okay.
Eagles then goes up for the top rope again, because he keeps trying to hit his finisher, which I think it's the 630 that I know now because I finished the match, and he does this before. Spoiler alert. But, it's at this point then that Pitt's partner comes out, and he then stops him from. He runs up, tries to interfere. Eagles gets off. The manager comes in, hits him with a soul food.
A soul food.
Yeah, you know Chuck Taylor, the soul food half and half, where he does yeah. She does that to him, stuns him. Pitt gets up, hits his finisher, which is the F5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's also just called the F5. I don't know if that's actually if that's the move's actual name. I only know it from Lesnar. It's at this point then that the ref goes 1, 2. At this point, I'm like wrapping my notes up. I'm like, all right, well, that was a pretty good match. Eagles kicks out. I literally said, "Oh shit, he kicked out."
Oh
That's what
shit!
I've written down here. I was like, "Oh shit." Eagles and Pitt then get up, and they start doing one of your favorite sequences, Mikey, where two dudes are just standing in front of each other and just beating the shit out of each other.
Yes.
We all love it.
Give me the hockey fight. Give me the hockey fight. I love it.
Literal hockey fight. Ending with Eagles hitting Pitt with a falcon arrow over his shoulder, like he picks him up, like he's like Pitt's behind him, right? He grabs him, lifts him up, and just falcon arrows him.
Nice.
Pitt kicks out.
No one kicks out of the falcon arrow.
I know. I said the same thing too. Actually, I always say that now. Thank you, Excalibur.
Nobody kicks out of the falcon arrow.
Eagles then hits a burning hammer pile driver onto Pitt, and he somehow kicked out of that too.
Jesus.
Like, I was literally like, he got him under his shoulders. I'm like, what's this? And then he turned into a pile driver, and I was like, what the fuck? It's like, shit. The finish then comes when Eagles went up for his finisher for the third time. And he's stopped by Pitt's partner, who gets up on the apron. He kicks him off. He then goes for it again. Does it, except Pitt gets his knees up. He lands directly on these knees, and it looked awful for him.
Wow, this match sounds like it's crazy.
He then got hit with an F5 and lost. That was the
wow.
end there, but commentary put over how, like, he did a really good job considering the fact it was a 1-on-3, and he kicked out of the F5 and almost won the match if it wasn't for the interference.
True.
I'm torn on this match, because when I talk about it now, I get so excited about it, but, like, there are points in this match where I was like, this match isn't doing it for me, but, like, the ending sequence is just really good for me. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I think if I recall correctly, I gave this a high meh as well, because I think I wrote down here, there's nothing here that was super special to it, but it did its job as an opening match really well, as in I was excited to keep watching wrestling after this match. I was like, all right. I'm like, that was a good end.
All right. I mean, it's for me, it sounds like it's wild the way you described it. It sounds like it's a pretty crazy match toward the end.
I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again. But like, I don't know. Like as I'm describing it to you, I was like, this match sounds really good to me. I was like, I don't know. I kind of want to give it a mark out now, but like, I feel like I have just remembering that I remember I wasn't too like.
We'll revisit it next week.
I probably will have you do that.
Well, we did all of our matches, so that brings us to our segment, the Double Down. Where instead of going back to last week, we're going to shoot back to 2 weeks ago because we had our special episode last week where me and Zach were at the Collective, and we didn't really review matches per se. We reviewed a lot of the events we watched. So
yes,
we're going to shoot back to 2 weeks ago. Zach, I believe you gave me Matt Tremont versus Jimmy Lyon in a death match. In Jimmy Lyon's no rope barbed wire death match, his first one.
Yep.
This match was good. I liked it a lot. It was brutal. It was scary. The barbed wire really made me cringe as usual, like it usually does. There was some big spots from Jimmy Lyon like when he put Tremont through that table. A big dude like Tremont going through a table just looks like it hurts so much more just because he's so big. You know what?
Yeah.
It's like the bigger they are, the harder they fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what it reminds me of. Just like a big dude like Tremont just like slamming through a table full of barbed wire just looks so brutal because he got all that barbed wire caught in his back.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, yeah, that was rough. What were those? What I want to know is what were those things that Lyon brought to the ring? Like the wood board with like the red things on it. Like what?
Yeah.
What were those?
The best way I have it written down here is I described them as a bunch of red crosses made out of like rulers / yardsticks.
It looked like you know what it looked like? It looked like the little red packs of like chopsticks you get at like sushi restaurants.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it probably wasn't, but
it
was weird, right? Like it was just a weird thing.
Like they snapped when they broke the one time they got used, so I was like, I don't know what those are.
Yeah, it was weird. The part with the bat where Lyon just breaks the bat over Tremont's shoulder.
Oh,
and the bat just goes flying into the crowd, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
that was brutal. That was
that
crazy. I didn't expect that to happen, but the fact that we hit him so hard that the bat just shattered over his shoulder was nutty.
Yeah.
I do want to give a quick shout out to there was like a random like child just in the audience.
Yeah.
Who kept trying to start chants. Like,
oh my god.
Oh man, what was a good one? Like when you brought up the barbed wire coffin last week.
Mm-hmm.
and Matt Tremont throws Jimmy Lyon into the coffin full of barbed wire, and the kid just he just like starts chanting. He's like, "That's what you get. That's what you get," or something like that. It was really funny.
It was
and then he just yelled at him. He was like, "That's what you get for being a jerk," or something. And the kid just kept trying to start chants, but they were so. It's not. And I'm not gonna knock the kid, but like the chants were like so off rhythm and so like just nothing chants. But it was just so cute. It was adorable. Just watching this kid just get super into this death match. Like
he wanted blood. That kid.
That kid was the most bloodthirsty one in the crowd. But this match does end when Tremont hits
down a Death Valley driver.
Right. Yeah, he hit him. He knocked him through that door full of barbed wire, then hit him with a big DVD and he hit him with the pin. And Matt Tremont ended up winning this match, coming out on top. This match was good. This match was fun. Like for me, it was fun. It was hardcore. It was brutal watching Jimmy Lyon do his first death match and just realizing the pain of barbed wire.
Yeah,
and the kid sold me on it. I think that bloodthirsty kid in the audience really sold me on it. However, it didn't. It was good, but it didn't get that reaction out of me of like, oh my god, you know.
Gotcha.
That like it wasn't like it didn't give me that feeling you get after you watch an awesome wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
That I think we talked about it a little bit on last week's episode. It's like that feeling, you know, when you watched an awesome match and you just get that like you feel a little bit stunned afterwards.
Yeah.
I know you and Ryan had that conversation at some point.
We did. It was at the. I'm pretty sure it was for the episode we did last week.
It's
with
like
him,
it's like
where,
when you watch a good match, you get that feeling of like you know you just watched like a 5-star banger.
Mm-hmm.
But this match didn't give me that feeling, so I'm gonna have to give it a meh. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure you gave this one a mark out. Yeah,
I said I was gonna give it a high meh to a mark out, and I think I gave it a mark out just because of how they had a bit of a story going with Lyon and how much Lyon put himself through for his first death match.
I really did like that too, where Tremont just kept hitting him with moves, and he's like, "Stop making me do this to you!"
I love the crowd just like, "Kill him!"
And I like Tremont's like restraint in this match, where he's just like, "I didn't want to do this to you, kid.
Exactly.
Why did you ask for this? I didn't want this to happen."
Exactly.
I really liked it though.
Mm-hmm.
I give it a high meh for sure. All right. What match did I give you? Because I sure don't remember. Because 2 weeks ago was a long time.
Josh Briggs versus AR Fox.
Right.
It was at Limitless Wrestling.
Okay.
The event that I'm reading here now was the 2018 Vacation Land Cup.
Yes. So what did you think about this match?
This match was, I honestly, watching through this match, I had similar feelings to you. In that this match was your usual, typical, like, fine, big strong dude versus small athletic guy.
Yeah.
I will say...
Talked about those a lot today, haven't we?
Yes, funnily enough. I will say, though, AR Fox's athleticism was very impressive this match.
Oh, yeah, he's smooth as butter.
He did, I have 3 spots written down here where I thought were really good. One was where he did a running moonsault off the turnbuckle, which I thought was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
His god-tier swanton from halfway across the ring.
That was insane. I don't know how he even reached him.
I don't know how he did it, but it looked so damn good.
It was wild.
I had the sequence where he kicked out Briggs' leg, cuttered him, then jumped on the bottom ropes and got another disgusting-looking cutter into a dragon sleeper, which I thought was great.
Nice.
I thought Briggs also did a fantastic job in this match as well, as a monster heel.
Yep.
He had some great moves, like when he chokeslammed Fox onto the apron when he was in the ring. That looked really good. His go to hell was smooth as fuck, man.
Oh, that go to hell was a crazy move.
Oh my god.
That choke slam go to sleep, like Jesus.
Yeah, like the whole time, like this whole match, like Aker said, like the whole match, it was just buttery smooth wrestling from Fox. Solid, really good wrestling from Briggs as well. I like Briggs screaming to him many times, "I don't like you."
Yes, that was very good.
I actually liked the finish because it was something I hadn't seen before, which was the choke slam into backbreaker off the the go to hell, I believe it was.
Yeah, something like that, off the top rope.
Yeah, like it was a choke slam into a backbreaker or something like that, and I'd never seen that, and I was like, damn, it's like, okay. This match was
also a quick
good.
fun fact. After I watched this match, I learned that Josh Briggs is one of the newest WWE Performance Center trainees.
Oh, he is.
Yes, I believe he is. I think he got a shot at the Performance Center, so we're probably going to see him on NXT not too long.
Well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Vince likes big, beefy dudes, and Josh is really good.
Fair.
Oh, I watched it now. I just watched what the finish was. He goes to chokeslam him off the top rope, and then he gets below him and double knees him on his back.
Woof.
And I remember thinking to myself, damn, that's a finish I haven't seen before. I was like, okay. I've watched a lot of wrestling, so for me to see something I haven't seen as a finish before, I was like, all right. In the end, I'm in the similar boat with you, Mikey, in that I give it like a meh to high meh, just because I was like, nothing special about this match, but it was a good match, like a entertaining match. It was entertaining and good. It was good. It was good. It's the best way I could put it. Like, it was a good match. I was impressed with both these guys. I do want to see more of Fox, and I guess I'll be seeing more of Briggs with WWE.
Yes. As of October 8th, WWE's latest signing class for the Performance Center, Josh Briggs is one of them. So the full list of that round of signees. We got Brandy Pawlek, who you know as Brandy Lauren. We got Cameron Rogers, who competes under the name Kurt Stallion.
Okay.
We got Anthony Green. We got Dartanon Ruffin, better known as Leon Ruff.
Oh, wait, I think I know that. I'm going to look that up. Keep going.
We got Joseph Ruby competing as Joe Gacy. He was from CZW.
Okay.
Joshua Bruns, who is Josh Briggs.
Okay.
Jacob Casper, who looks like that's his name, and Jake Clemens.
I looked up Leon. I know where I've seen him from now.
Yeah, Leon Ruff does sound familiar. Where is he from?
He is in NXT. His current gimmick, if I recall correctly, is that he's just happy to be there.
Incredible. You mean like every WWE superstar's current gimmick?
Yeah. Except the thing is, he always loses. Yikes. He never is. As far as I recall, he didn't win last time I checked, but like he just is happy to be there. Incredible. That's his entire thing.
So yeah, that's the latest round of Performance Center signees. Josh Briggs being one of them, which I thought was interesting because literally, like 2 days after I watched this match or something, that's when they got announced, which was crazy.
It's funny how things work like that, don't they?
Yeah. Real quick, what did you give Josh Briggs versus AR Fox?
I believe I just said it was a high meh to a meh.
I agree. I think that's also what I said.
Yeah.
High
good
meh.
Match.
It was pretty good. Good showing for both the guys.
Just nothing that blew my socks off, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. So we had a pretty meh episode today, Zach. But next week we'll bring some bangers. We promise. We'll find some awesome matches for you guys because we know an episode full of mez isn't wonderful. So
unfortunately, it happens sometimes. Can't all be winners.
We'll get some bangers in next week for you guys to check out for sure. But that does bring us to the end of this episode of Independent Waters. Remember to go subscribe to this feed and leave us a review on iTunes. Give us that 5 stars. It really helps a growing podcast out. Leave us a review. Tell us what you think of the show. Tell us what we could do better. Tell us what we're doing great. Whatever you feel like. Whatever you want to do. Follow us on Twitter over at Hit the Books Pod, where we share our wrestling thoughts, our thoughts on the world in general, and just interact with you guys. That's where we interact with all of our fans. That's where we tweet out all of our new episodes, stuff like that. So follow us there. And go check out our YouTube channel, Hit the Books Podcast, where we have a bunch of video forms of these podcasts where you can check those out as well. We have 2K outcomes. And coming already out, we have episode 1 of our vlog from our GCW Collective trip. We have the whole vlog about getting to Indy, so go check that out. And go check out Hit the Books every Friday, where me and my co-host Ryan Knightsey book our own versions of Raw and SmackDown every single week. And you can go check out the whole archive of that if you're behind over on htbpod.com. We have written versions of all of our cards since the beginning. Definitely go check that out. So go check out the website htbpod.com, where you can find everything and anything that has to do with any podcast on the Hit the Books network.
Hit us with that follow on Twitter too.
Hit us with that follow on Twitter. Hit that. So yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode. And always remember, there is a giant sea of independent wrestling out there.
So never stop exploring.